CG Magazine, 9 out of 10. Press Start, 9 out of 10. Gaming Trend, 85 out of 100. Game Informer, 8 out of 10. Hobby Consoles, 90 out of 100. IGN, 8 out of 10. Steam, kinda 8 out of 10. 7 out of 10. Impulse Gamer, 5 out of 5. So what you can see here, if we compare this, there's pretty sure there's better examples. They heavily advertise their accolades at the very front of the Steam page. And today I want to talk about this right here. You can see that there's a huge discrepancy. Not a huge, but you know, it's like 20% discrepancy between these right here, 9 out of 10, and the actual value, which is 73. And we all know that the game had an amazing marketing campaign, but ultimately didn't result in many players dripping over. We can see that we have a whopping 16 players right now. Damn! And all-time peak was 751, which, by the way, when you consider that we had 230,000 Twitch viewers, is nothing. Essentially, no one really liked playing the game. We can have opinions on why that is. It's just too... It invokes epilepsy if you play it for too long. You just can't make out anything. But I'm not here to talk about this. I'm here to talk about something that really pisses me off. And those are these acolytes. In my opinion, they are fake. They are bought. And access journalism is used for journalists to get access to advantages that you don't get if you don't talk positively about the certain game that you're talking about. And now watch what happened. And that really pissed me off.
IGN appears to manipulate user votes. For Game of the Year, Wukong drops from 90% to 74% in the span of 1 hour.
Context. A few weeks ago, IGN set up a system to decide the Game of the Year. In this, you have a huge catalogue of titles that face off in duels.
Have you guys ever done this? Like, I think I've done this once.
In theory, the game that eventually wins the most...
Essentially, you have games that appear next to each other and you choose the one that you think is better between the two.
Duels will be crowned Game of the Year. In a perfect world, every game shown here should have the same numerical amount of duels. I have thoroughly tested this, and the system will continue to show you a game even when you made it lose multiple times. Unfortunately, people have noticed some absolutely insane out-of-this-world tampering for Black Myth Wukong.
Watch.
Yesterday, Wukong went from winning the Game of the Year to quickly collapse. Notice how it got 44k more votes in the span of 60 minutes, while the other game's duels count remained stable. And some people even recorded it as it was happening. And now the game has dropped to 3rd place. This is not IGN.
So they're essentially botting down Black Myth Wukong so they could advertise a different game to be Game of the Year.
Removing bots. This is an insane amount of losing duels.
That system easy manipulated, so you're saying it's not IGN but someone else?
To Wukong, while all the other games have remained stable. Back to you, Baldy.
Wait, that's an insanely good point. A duel has 2 different outcomes. That means that the other games should go up proportionally at the same ratio. Oh my god, somebody made a fucking chart. So if you look at...
So like what he's saying here is if every single thing has the same amount of duels, if something goes down in percentage-wise from 90% down to 70%, then something needs to go up. That is not on the list. That didn't happen. The percentages of all the other ones stayed the same, which doesn't make sense.
At the time, 51,000 votes happened within this time period for Black Myth Wukong. And now if you look at Final Fantasy Rebirth, you look at 242 to 245. This is within the same window, but instead of changing by 51,000, it changed by 3,000. And then Helldivers 2, 240, all the way up to 243. So if anything, Black Myth Wukong got negatively botted. And basically every single one of those votes would have been a negative. This means that out of the 51,000 additional duels, the win rate of those additional duels was only 9%, which brought the win rate down from 90% to 72%.
Well, how can this be abused if it's a bad system? How can you manipulate the system to have this outcome, to go from 90 to 70%? And by 50,000 votes, you just only have 10% voting for Wukong. In my opinion, this must be a bot. This has to be IGN pulling the strings to make Game of the Year what they want Game of the Year to be. Or to remove Game of the Year from a game they don't want it to have. For me, I've always been wary about any acolyte like that. Because there were so many games that I always considered to be trash that would get Game of the Year just because they were AAA games. And I was like, there's no way. That's why Game of the Year is only like 10% of audience votes. It seems like a JavaScript website. Maybe the bot does some manipulation on the API. I don't know what could you do. I'm not an expert on security here. You think you could do like some SQL injection bullshit, but I just don't see that. But they had to hack the system to always show BM Wukong, Black Myth Wukong. Yeah. They would have to show Black Myth Wukong all the time and then say no. Could just be a crap REST API? I guess maybe, but I think like that's totally possible. I'm not saying that's impossible. I just think it's very unlikely. I think it's more likely that IGN is pulling strings.
9%.
I had IGN without proof.
Which brought the win rate down from 90% to 72%. And then the thing is, they tweet out, what's your game of the year? And Black Myth Wukong isn't even on the list.
See, that's the point. That's the problem.
It's at 70.7. Now it went back up to 70.9. It just got 5,000 votes and went up by 0.2%. Wait a second. It's possible for it to go down 20%. Dude, this is a degree of shamelessness that I've never seen. I'm almost not even mad at IGN because of how flagrantly ridiculous this is. We just changed all the votes.
Can you even see this anymore? Probably not, right? The vote's over. Is it possible to still look at this?
Assassin's Creed Shadows has been delayed to February 14th. So
I clicked on pause! Fuck you! Sorry. Welcome. I hate this. I click pause. Wow. Okay, it went from okay, bro. 400,000 votes. It went to a 68% now. Play the face off? Okay, I'm going to play the face off now. Animal will or Palworld. 100%. I never played any of these, but she's cute. Do that. So yeah, I went through the options until I found Black Myth Wukong and then chose that. I didn't play these. Like it's 98. Holy, there we go. There it is. We're gonna give our vote to Black Myth Wukong. Actually, that's all I wanted to do. I wanted to give my vote to Black Myth Wukong. I continued through the options, always choosing Black Myth Wukong whenever I had the chance, and otherwise for the games that I did know, I would choose them if I liked them over the others. Guys, Animal Will has to lose against the cute girl, you know? It's just how it is, okay? Men. No, I clicked the wrong one! There was Palworld! Oh, shit! Sorry! Oh, no! I shouldn't have done that. Shit. There's an undo button. Oh, there was an undo. Wait. Wait, I can only go back one? Who programmed this? Huh? The programmer needs to get fired. So this is what they're giving me. They are tracking the wins and losses of each. So what you guys are saying is that out of all the votes that people do, Black Myth Wukong now got one winner vote from me. And all they do is count the winners. But that doesn't make sense. It says duels. For me, this looks like Black Myth Wukong just got 7 duels and 7 wins. Then this guy here got 6 duels. 1 won and 1 loss. That gives it a percentage. And then you average out these percentages. 5 divided by... not 5 divided by 1. Divided by 6, sorry. So 83% positive on this one right here. That's what I gave him. And here, Stellar Blade, 81%. So 83% is higher than 81%. Therefore, Last Epoch wins over Stellar Blade. Even though Stellar Blade got more duels. And that's my point. If Black Myth Wukong had a 90% win rate in duels before... and now all of a sudden it drops down by 20, more than 20%. In my opinion, that's tampering. They should be at 90%. Because if they go down by 20 to 30%, then something needs to go up. Why did it have 100,000 extra duels? Yeah, that's also the question, right? The Black Myth Wukong almost has 100,000 extra duels. So that means, let's go down the list, right? Look how many duels in general these games have. And as you go down, take a look at what happens. You see how the number of duels slowly goes down, the lower the percentage goes. Some of these games, yeah, it looks like the minimum is 2. Of course. Why? Because they can't keep dueling. So what does that mean? If you keep dueling your game, that means your percentage here should be higher in general because you win more duels, because you appear higher in the list, because you have won before. And so this percentage doesn't make any sense. People got its UU ID and they're making it loose through the API. So this doesn't make any sense. The number of duels indicate that the percentage here should be much higher. And it works here too. You see how it goes down to like 20, 250,000, 100,000. It slowly dribbles down. It's not perfect, of course, but it's slowly going down. And that huge difference, that's the problem here. Cakez is right, duels should be proportional to the percentage. Yes, it just pixels the screen, man. Don't think about it too hard. No, I hate it. This is the reason, like, guys, you don't understand. This is the reason why I make games. Because I'm tired of this. So I want to make a difference. Anyways, this is ridiculous. I think this is botted. Whether someone abuses the API or if IGN somehow tweaks the percentages, I don't know. But it doesn't make any sense. It's not possible for this number to be that high and a percentage to be that low. If anything, the number should indicate that it's actually 90% instead of 68%. And I hope that something will come of this. Now, as of making this video, currently Black Myth Wukong is back at number 1 at 77.1%, which is awesome to see. Maybe a lot of users online have voted for Black Myth Wukong and therefore it's up again. Let's just hope that it stays that way, because ultimately it's a great game.